Hello, everyone, and welcome to MT4 Professional. My name is Randy Lindsay. I'm your host today. If you have any questions or comments, please enter them on the Q&A panel or the chat box. That way we can hear from you and answer your questions in the order that they are received. Today's presentation is specifically for training. We're going to be going over the chart configurator, and I'm going to give you a full live demonstration and, of course, make you a very special offer because you came to my webinar. And if you haven't started with MT4 Professional, I want to get you going on that. Before we get going, I'd like to ask a couple of questions. If Claudio can get the polls ready. I think this is a little bit out of order, but that's okay. I want to find out how many of the users out there are currently using MT4 Professional. And if you're not, asking why. So Claudio can do that for me. That would be great. So are you currently using MT4 Professional or not? That'll help me to gauge my audience and to focus my training a little bit better. If you do, if you're currently using it, yes, I love it. That's awesome. We love you too. Thank you very much. No, you haven't had time to try it yet. No, you don't no, but you want to know more. No, I'm not sure if I need it yet, or no, I'm not interested at the moment. So enter your feedback there, and I'll get going with our training. While the rest of you are inputting your results, I want to go ahead and move on to the disclaimer. I want to let you know that the MT4 Professional resilient traders are not professional investment advisory service, so we cannot give you registered advice at all. We're not a broker dealer, so we do not provide any sort of data or any other tradable advice. But what we can do is instruct and train you how to use our platform on the live edge of the market, and how to build a trading plan that is consistently profitable and successful. So futures, stocks, spot currencies, Forex, that's another word for it, have a large potential for reward, but also have a large potential for risk. And you've got to be aware of the risks involved and be able to accept them in order to trade in any of these markets. So please don't trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. Past performance is not indicative of future results, so please get information or advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading or investing live money in any of these markets. Again, my name is Randy Lindsay. I'm your trade coach and operations director, and there is your results from the poll. Looks like the majority of the class today are currently using MT4 Professional and have come for the training, so that's great. Thank you and welcome. Looks like another 17% haven't tried it but want to know more about it, and another want to know more as well but haven't had time, and about 8% don't know. So that's great. I'd like to answer all of your questions before you leave, so make sure that you input them on the chat box or the questions panel. So I am your trade coach. Claudio is our product development director and all things technology guru. Today I'm going to go over the chart layout configuration. Last week, we spent quite a bit of time on the scanner configurator. So I'm going to go over the chart configuration to make sure you understand and know how to use it and set it up. And then if you have any questions with regards to the scanner or the other tools, then I'll be glad to spend time on that as well. Of course, live demonstration on everything, special offer at the very end, and a Q&A session throughout the presentation. So let me get my chart up. This is MT4. You can use it on MT5. A couple of things I wanted to show you about standard MT4. Notice that when I made this screen full size, that the charts did not go full size. Also note that when I click on a chart, or go into scan mode, it does not follow or track onto any of the other windows. So I have to manually go through and identify multiple time frame analysis using a very rough approximation. Also, when I change symbols on each of these charts, I can't just sit down and click or change the symbol. I have to drag and drop the symbol from the market watch over to the chart layout one at a time. And like I said, if I go to full screen, I have to either go up under window and resize everything, or redraw it. So I have to drag everything down proportionately. And if any of these windows are a different size, then it just really complicates the ability to go and hit the F11 key to go full screen or not. See how quick and easy that is to get full resolution or not. So real estate is important when you're trading. I just wanted to show you a bunch of these features. This is what normal MT4 or MT5 is like. Now I'm going to go and launch MT4 Professional. I have set up a profile that allows me to go up and start and load things from scratch. So I have a default MT4 Professional scanner panel and the chart layout area. And these are all the presets. The presets are the example configurations that we provide you when you subscribe to MT4 Professional. The customs, these are ones that are created by you, or ones that you create your own configuration, or you've copied them from the presets so that you can modify them and change them at any way that you like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull one up and load it and show you what I'm talking about. Notice how the charts are laid out. The chart here on the left, which is a 15-minute, is larger than the two charts over on the right. Notice that the cursor automatically syncs time and price on both all three of my time frames. And if I click it, and it'll stop and freeze so I can do more analysis and kind of look to see where the markets are at the current time. Also, when I hit F11, notice that the charts automatically redraw to the normal scale size. That is just sweet. So I can go in and out of mode and it will shrink or enlarge the scale size proportionally. So everything is set up properly and running. And so the charts are a very important thing. When I click on the symbol list over here on the left, notice the symbol on all the charts and watch them change when I click on one. See that? See how much more responsive and quicker this is than standard MT4. So these are some really good professional grade improvements on a standard platform to help you become a better trader. Not only is the scanner worth its weight in gold, but the ability to do multiple time frame analysis, to analyze your charts all at the same time, and to always have the same configuration set up is priceless. So of course, you can always go in and zoom into a single chart, do your analysis on it, and zoom back out again. You can also change the templates just to see what you're looking at. If you're looking at different types of templates and stuff, you can mess around and kind of play with it just a little bit and move things around. But when you're ready to go back to your regular standard configuration, all you have to do is either reload the configuration or click on any symbol, and it will automatically reset it to the base configuration. So let me show you how to set up and to use your chart configurator so that you always have the charts laid out exactly the way that you want them, and you know how to change them if you want to, and to make them look the way that you want them to look. The first thing that you want to do is you want to create a template. Templates are the basis of the chart layout configurations. So if you already have a template, that means that's the directive that you give to MT4 to tell you what the chart looks like. So if you have a list of templates here, you can use any of these templates. It doesn't really care what templates that you use. There's an alligator template. Any of these templates will work just fine based upon whatever that you're using or working with. So let's go over into select configuration. This is the one that I'm currently using. Click the edit button. And then over on the right is the chart configurator. Notice that the chart configurator has a basic template layout, just exactly like you see on the screen. You have one large window and then two small windows over on the right. Here you can see there's one large window with two small windows on the right. If I wanted to, I could move these around. I could delete them and create new ones. I can just drag and drop these wherever I want. Wherever they end up when you save it, that's how this chart will look like. So it's important that you get it right and to set it just the way that you like it so that it'll always look that way here in the main display. There are two main sections within each chart. You have the time period, which is very easy to select from a pull-down menu. And you have the template that you select from the same pull-down menu. Now, if you have multiple templates loaded, you can have multiple templates show up on your pull-down menu. But if you don't, and you want to change the template, just simply click the plus sign. It opens up a window to the templates area so that you can, again, just scroll through and find the template that you want to use. Any template that you've already created can be interfaced and used with MT4 Professional, so you don't have to worry about any of the settings. So pick the template that you have, or make sure that it's loaded in here. And if you don't have a template made yet, then go ahead and close these windows out, go out to MT4 and create a template, one that looks exactly the way that you want it to look, with all the indicators, all these sub panels, and everything's laid out just the way that you like it. Then use the name of that template right here. So that way you can load it onto your charts. Now you don't have to use the same template for all three windows. You can use different templates for different time frames. So you're not locked into just a single template. You can use any multiple templates or a different one for every single window. To add or increase windows, you can just simply click the Add Chart window. Notice it says some charts are overlapping. So my big one is here, but I've got a small one that's over here on top of this one. See, so notice that this new one that I created is kind of sitting here in the background. I can add another window and see, notice that it also was created and populated in there. To initiate it, all you have to do is just select a template and make sure that the time frame is correct for what you are interested in. And then if you want these to be tiled, then all you have to do is just select the number of rows or the number of columns that you want them to be tiled in, or whether you want them all to be vertically or horizontally. Or if you just do a default tile, then just simply click Tile Chart Windows, and it will automatically put it where it thinks it should go. Now, it almost always puts the large window over on the right and the smaller windows on the left. So if I were to get rid of one of these, then click that again, then you can see now I have 4 equally spaced windows. If I want it to still have a large window, then I can still do that on my own just by dragging, moving, and dropping it in on the chart the way it's set up. Okay. So this is a 15-minute chart. 30 and hour. This is the way I started out to begin with. So I'll go ahead and cancel this out because I didn't want to save anything. I was just kind of showing it to you. And whenever you're done setting up your chart configuration, always click the Save button. There'll be a check mark here to let you know that it has been saved, and X to close it out. Now, any changes that you've made have not been reflected on the display yet until you click the Load button. Once you click the Load button, any changes that you made to the chart configuration will now be displayed in the chart display area. So are there any questions with regards to setting up a chart, importing or using a template, or using configurations? This is a great time to ask it. All right, then I'll just continue on. Under the configuration window, notice that there is the Create Custom Configurations button. When you would create a new configuration, it'll always pull up all of your current configurations to use as example files. So what it'll do is it creates a working copy of whatever file you select, and will give you the opportunity to rename it, to put it down as something else, or to just change it altogether. But say, for example, you want to use one that has the symbol lists and the scanner, but you just want to change the chart around a little bit. And that's easy to do. So that's why you would want to use the start configuration, because that way you would set it up to use that. So I'll just go ahead and get out of that and remove that, because I don't, I just was using that as an example. So you'd like to set a 10-minute chart. Is it possible? No, the time frame on the charts are a function of MT4 itself. So you don't have the ability to set or to use non-standard timeframes. In MT5 you can, because 10-minute is possible, but not on MT4. Yeah, and I think Claudio replied to that as well, so yes. All right, so let me go back with the configurations. So a little bit more complex configuration here. Let me load this one up and show you. You can see that I've got 4 windows, each of them at different time frames on my charts. And I have 2 windows. These are different sized windows. So I've got 2 smaller windows with 4 larger windows. So it's important for me to make sure that my windows are uniform and they're kept at this same size. And for me, that's important because when I go full screen, then I like to be able to see everything stay the same. And that's the nice feature about the chart layout, is that everything is automatically the same and remains just like that. So that's nice. When you're setting up a chart and you want to change things, like I said, I have this set up as a template. If you don't know how to use templates, then all you have to do is create a chart, any chart that you already are currently using with the indicators on it that you're currently using, and right-click on the chart, select template, and save template to make sure that it is saved on your computer. Once it's saved on your computer, then we have access to it through the configurator. Now, since MT4 Professional is cloud-based, you also have access to all of these configurations through the cloud. So if you are traveling and you go somewhere and you need to pull up a chart specific from a configuration you already have set up, then you can pull up any of these creations that you've done, or even the presets from the cloud, and they will load on your remote desktop. If, however, you're using, if you want to change things remotely, then the profiles or the templates that you have on your computer won't be available to you unless you currently have them in a configuration, because only the configurations are backed up and stored in the cloud. So you don't have all of your MT4 profiles done that way, only the configuration files. One other thing I wanted to point out is that any of the presets that we have here will load up and will display on your screen. But if you don't have a template on your computer made from these things, then you won't be able to pull that template up off of your computer either. So I recommend that when you create a brand new configuration, and I'll just go ahead and just do an example right now, create a configuration, and I'll go through the presets as an example, and I'll use this alligator here as an example. Then it gives a name, so you always want to give it a name. Give it a good description so when you come back, you'll be able to pull it back in. And when you go into the items, then the alligator template might not be on your computer. So when you go to reload it, it might or might not load. It'll only load from the cloud. So if you want to save this to your computer, then the easy way to do it is to go ahead and save the file and then load. Once you load the new configuration, this is the alligator new example, the one I just created. Once you have it displayed, then right click on the chart, select template, and then save template. And the save template will give you the ability to give it a name and to save it on your local computer so you can use it even in standard MT4 or anywhere on MT4 Professional. And then you'll be able to use it and pull it into any other configuration that you want. And it won't only just be in this configuration. All right. So that's pretty sweet. Other questions then I might be able to help you with. With regards to the chart configurator. Now, drawing objects, if you like to use trend lines, then trend lines are the same on any chart. You can draw trend lines. You can set them up to do. You can do horizontal lines. You're not limited in any way the way that you normally would be using your MT4 setup. So I just wanted to help you with that. All right then. So I go back to my standard EMA and price. All right, well, if there aren't any other questions, then that concludes my demonstration of the chart configurator. If you do have other comments about that, let me know. But I want to make sure that you've got a good, thorough introduction and a use of the chart configurator. We can go back to the standard questions now. If you have a question about another part of MT4, or what I'll do is I'll go back to my presentation and make you a very special offer. And I think I already went through the poll. So MT4 Professional for both MT4 or MT5 is full featured. We give you the full software. You're not limited in any way. You can see that the value that's awarded to this is about $2,300 based upon the current offerings. Of course, you don't pay that price anywhere close to that price. We make it available at $194 a month, which is an extremely good deal based upon the value that we see on the charts. But of course, since you're part of my webinar, you don't pay that much either. You knock that down 50%, and then that's what you pay, $97 a month. It's 14-day free trial, so you can sit down, download the full version of the software, run it on your computer, make some money. But after 14 days, you'll be charged $97 a month. And this discount isn't just for the first month. It's for the lifetime of your subscription. So you don't have to worry about it going up. In 7 months, it's not going to increase. In 10 months, it's not going to increase. It'll be locked in as long as you're a subscriber. So the link to get started is mt4professional.com/trial. Get started today. Cancel any time in the 14-day trial. You won't be charged a penny, but you'll still be able to keep the full 14-day trial. Make sure you cancel before the last day of the trial to avoid being charged if you're not interested in being charged. But once you are charged, you'll have full access for a full month since there are no refunds. And make sure that you get the full use of it in the application before you move on. Of course, we're here to help you, to get you installed. We provide free onboarding and to get you going. So make sure that you take advantage of that and then have us answer all the questions that you can. If you do have questions outside of class, then you can always contact us at support@mt4professional.com. And we'll always be able to get back to you using that email and support ticket system. We'll answer your questions and get interact with you within 24 hours of your initial response. All right, so let me get back to my main platform. We'll go through some more questions. This way we'll answer and demonstrate anything for you if you want to do the that type of analysis. Now what the EMA and price configuration does is we're looking at price being greater than a 15-period exponential moving average. If the price is greater than, we want to set the sell as a bullish setup. So these cells that are scanning over here in the scanner are looking at multiple time frames and telling me whether I am currently bullish or bearish on whatever instrument I'm looking at. So you can see that I'm bullish because price is greater than the EMA, bullish and bullish. So you can see I have 3 time frames that are bullish, bullish, bullish on the Euro US dollar. And you can see as the scanner is moving along, it's constantly updating the output of these scan windows to show you potential setups. So see the pound yen? Notice that the pound yen has just gone weak. It was a strong downtrend, but now it's got weakened and gone into an uptrend, and it just switched to a 30-minute uptrend. So it's in a transition now, going from a downtrend to an uptrend. So this is at the early stages of a transition. Now you can also see the pound Swiss just made a switch here from a downtrend into a potential uptrend. So if we were to click on that symbol and we were to look at that, then we can see what we're looking for. See, the pound did go up into a green. Oops, sorry about that. Click on that to fix it in place. This one had closed down below. This one is below. So this one is now bullish. This one is bullish, and this one is bearish. So you can see the green, green, red. Pound Swiss, we can do the exact same setup here, analysis. You can see that the close above is green, but we're still bearish and bearish below. So there's a potential here that it could start turning around and reversing from here. You can see there's a pretty nice base forming, but it's coming back down from a triple top and a break. So this could just simply be a retest of the support line before it continues back down to where the floor support is. So don't be tricked into it by thinking it might change. That's the value of multiple time frame analysis. You can look at the longer time frames and analyze the setup to think that maybe this looks like a bullish run, but it's really not. It could just be a simple correction that will reverse and go right back down again. So if you see this cell turn back red again, that's a great entry opportunity to enter into an existing trend right after a period of weakness. So that's ideal. And so you can scan and see that all the way across the board. The euro pound just went red on the first time frame from a green build. So this looks like it's starting to show some topping. Now it's pulling back down again. Typically it can reverse back up and see some weakness, but if it never breaches or breaks beyond the previous high, then we've got a great setup and a potential for the price to continue to go back down to the floor support area. Pretty cool, isn't it? This is just a simple strategy. If you have a more complex strategy, MT4 Professional is not limited in how you can apply those strategies in any way. Let me see if I can find one here. Here I've taken the same strategy, the EMA and price, and I've integrated it with a MACD histogram, and a signal line, and a relative strength. So you can see I've got multiple indicators on my screen, and I'm using them all together to create a stronger indication of a trend signal. Because if you know the MACD, you know that when the histogram crosses under the signal line, that's a bearish indication. And you can see on price that at that same point, we are very close to the peak and have started to come down. And you can see that we're just now starting to close down under the trend line, but the trend line is still moving up. So it could be a little bit early. But if we can see that the relative strength is declining, that we have a downward slope on RSI at the cross with the close below the RSI, then that could get us into this trade at a very nice time, so that we can take profit from this potential setup and opportunity. So based upon that, you can see that there is about a, what is this, 24 pip risk in the trade, and a potential 300 pip profit just on that setup alone. So that's about a 10-to-1 reward risk ratio if you're doing the math. And that's just by using the rules that you've established based on this. So when this occurs, that becomes a red cell over here on the configurator. And if you get a bullish signal, which would be right here, you can see the crossover there, positive slope, and a close above. That becomes a green signal over here on the scanner. So this becomes a buy opportunity. So if you have a risk in this trade, then this particular risk could either be 38 pips, or if you're very conservative, it could be down to about 64 pip risk. So the first risk would be right about 34. Potential profit in this would be about 170. So again, you're looking at an extremely nice reward risk ratio setup on these trades. And the other setup, when you see this, this is moving down and you're looking for that profit potential, but you're not looking for the profit every time this thing switches over, because you can see that it's closing above and it's closing below. So you have other parameters you're looking at to try to take the profit. While the trend line is still moving down, or if you see that the longer term trend line is still moving down, you're going to stay with the trade. You're only going to enter trades in the direction of the longer term trend. And during these transition periods, you always are limiting your risk, and you'll stick with the longer term trend. So you don't have to worry about getting bumped out or chopped around by the noise. And when the true cycles do change, then you'll see that change on the longer term time frame, i.e. you'll see a close above your moving average, or a change in the angle or direction of your EMA. A lot of people like to use the relative strength value. So if you get to a relative strength of 25, then you're exiting the market. Or if you get to a relative strength greater than 70, then you're exiting the market. So you are basically going in long at your signal and then exiting when relative strength becomes overbought or oversold. That's another strategy. So depending upon your strategy, you're not limited in any way by using MT4 Professional. You can use it to its full potential, because it's sitting here doing all the work for you, showing you where the opportunities are, and all you have to do is go pull them up, analyze them, make the trade, manage the trade, go to the bank. That's what it is. Any other questions or comments? Got about 20 more minutes left in our class today. Anything I can demonstrate or show you on the system before we head out? Last week, I spent a full hour on the scanner, showing you its strength and its full capabilities. Now you can see a lot of these charts I have are set up, they're completely different if I pull up a different configuration, well, let's see. Did I have this one set? Oh, it's the same thing. Let me see. This one is just a MACD and signal. I think that's just a simple setup. Yeah, just a simple price chart with a MACD on it, but it's for 4 different time frames. I showed you the one with the custom indicators on it where you're looking at multiple charts. Here's 6 different charts with 2 different indications on it. So set up like that. You can see the scanner can be set up to have multiple indications. So on this chart, I have 3 different signals triggering on the 5-minute. I only have 2 signals triggering on the 15-minute and on 1 signal triggering on the 30-minute. So that gives me the ability to look at a bunch of different things and how the trade is actually progressing. So here I can see that on the pound dollar, there it just went white. I can see that I've got trend, volume, and heat map. So if I'm looking at these 3 components, then I can see that the heat map is starting to go weakened, that the volume has switched over to red, and that the trend itself went from a green to a white or a neutral trend. So I can see the transition that's going on. The second term time frame, I can see that my transition of heat map has gone dark, which shows weakness in the longer term trend. And so that weakness is all coming from the overall longer term bullishness that we see. So when we see that bullishness change to bearishness, then we can see that the transition or change that we're seeing right now is going to come into play. So let me pull that back in here. So you can see the trend dot went white, the volume went red, but the heat map is still green. See that? White, green, and red. The second term time frame heat map is dark, which we see right here. But the in this case, the volume is just green, or is it still? Oh, I'm not even on the right one. There it is, white. It's white. So it's dark and white volume. And then the third time frame volume is still green right here. I could add a fourth if I wanted to. So you can see it gives an accurate representation of the current placement of price and allows you to set it up any way that you like. And the setup is very simple. You just go over to your scanner configuration and notice that all the different colors that are listed here. All I have to do is turn on or off any of my trigger signals, the trend, the heat map, or the volume, and it will not be displayed. Notice that the 5-minute, like I said, has all 3 of them displayed, whereas my 15-minute only had 2 of the 3. I'm not concerned about the trend. And the 30-minute is only looking at the volume. I have access to all 3 of them, but I am only interested in the volume for the 30-minute. Are there other questions I might help you with today? Otherwise, I think I'm out of information and I might just end early if you don't help me along here. If you have a custom indicator, we can integrate that in with MT4 Professional. That's not a problem. Most custom indicators out of the box work with MT4 Professional, but if you have one that requires setup or need a custom bridge built, then we can build custom bridges for any software to allow you to use that in the MT4 Professional environment and with the scanner itself. So that way you have a full fledged signal system that meets your criteria, made just for your own specific use. All right. Well, again, don't forget to take advantage of our trial, 14-day free trial, and then $97 a month special offer following that, using the link mt4professional.com/trial to get going today. Yeah, the webinars, the previous webinars are going to be the ones that we've just done last week and this week will be in the members area, but the previous webinars are on our YouTube channel. And again, you can always contact us at support@mt4professional.com if you have any questions at all. So thank you very much for your time and your attention. I'll be here the same time in a couple of weeks. And don't forget to contact us in our Skype chat room. You get full access to the Skype community with your subscription, and you get unlimited configuration storage on our cloud, including all of the pre-configured settings. And the ability to share them all with all of your friends, or with us, or with anybody else in the Skype room for that matter. All right, then I'm going to go ahead and head out. Thank you very much for your time and for your attention. And I'll leave the screen on and the link here for you for just a little bit, so that you can watch it in action to see what's going on. So thank you very much.